Hey guys, it's Mad Morta, and it's time for another update on the Wii Lite Wii Portable. I was able to finish it in time for the BitBelt building contest, and it won second, which was really exciting. But it developed some kind of weird issue after I completed it, where I think it had something to do with the Bluetooth module, but I don't know. And since I wasn't able to figure out what was causing it, I assumed that I'd overheated it due to having a kind of crappy cooling system. So I am going to be putting a new motherboard in there and wiring everything back up again and redoing the cooling system entirely. So I have printed out a new faceplate, that's the old one back there, and I had to find some kind of heatsink fan combination that was about 13 or 14 millimeters total, so less than 1.5 centimeters tall together, that would fit underneath here but on top of a Wii motherboard. And I had to do it this way because there was no way that I could fit a blower fan in there and have it be able to blow out anywhere, because the whole front's pretty much taken up and the whole back's taken up and your hands are covering the sides, so there's not really anywhere to have the air blow except for up. And the cooling system that I'd done, where the blower fan blows into the heatsink, turns 90 degrees, turns 90 degrees again, and comes out the top, that might have caused some heating issues. So to be on the safe side, I'm doing it in a different way, and that is to have a fan that blows upward instead. So I am also going to be repainting this because I was in a huge hurry to finish in time for the contest. I believe I had a week to paint it and assemble it and test it in time for the contest, and it did not leave enough room to paint it as well as I would have liked. And since I'm kind of choosy about that, I just am not happy with it. You can tell, for one thing, that the top half is a slightly lighter shade of orange than the bottom half. You can tell there's kind of a difference there, and that's because the bottom half has more coats because I ran out of orange. And also, I don't really like this orange. It's a little too red, so I'm going to try to find a slightly more orange and one that doesn't look red. Because you can see it kind of does. Also, because it wasn't completely dry when I assembled it, I managed to, scrape some of the paint off in a few places while assembling it because it was just not ready to be put together. So this time I'm going to do it right. It's going to be solid. The paint will be dry all the way before I put it together, so I'm going to take my time and do it right and get it up and working and solid. So that's my update on this, and hopefully I'll get started on this soon. There's a delay because I just completely ran out of steam after the rush to finish in time, and then I had to find a heatsink fan combo that I thought would actually work, and then I had to order it and wait like a month for it to get here. So that's my update on the Wii Portable. And separate from that, I actually have a different project in the works that you guys might find interesting. These are Wavebirds, and some of you probably already know what I'm going to say. And I have taken a Wavebird and removed everything from it and sanded it down so that you could see all the copper traces on both sides, made sure that there weren't any layers in between, and I documented it. So if any of you have a Wavebird project that you want to work on, there's a whole bunch of documentation on it now on bitbelt.net in the GameCube section, I believe. So here it is, and I have put together a compendium similar to the Wii compendium where all of the traces are mapped out, so if you wanted to do a trim on it, you could probably do it pretty easily. So this is a Wavebird that, after I documented this one and got it pretty much figured out what everything does, I am now at the point where I'm removing stuff from the board to find out if it's okay to remove that. And I took off a couple things, like right here I took off the reset chip. It just checks the battery to make sure the voltage is okay, and if the batteries are getting too low, it turns off the Wavebird. And I accidentally removed one of the transistors down here, but everything below here can be removed. This is all battery regulation stuff. And there's nothing really over here, and there's nothing really over here. So really this area from probably about here down to R12, then over to about here can be trimmed. So I haven't done it yet. It's not 100% confirmed, but looking at it, there's really nothing that you need outside of that box. So I went through and I removed some things that it didn't need, like the channel switch. There was a thing right here that changes the channel, and if you remove it, it defaults to channel 3, so that's completely removable as well. Although if you wanted to change the channel to 4 or 11 or 12 or whatever, you could do that easily by just connecting a couple points to ground. So I've also gone through and I've removed most of the capacitors on this board, except for the ones that I knew were important, like these ones. I moved the fuse, a couple other little things, but mostly just a whole bunch of capacitors. And it's working now, but because I removed a whole bunch of caps, it could develop issues over time. So now what I have to do is I have to play with this Wavebird in its shell as a controller for a lot of time to make sure that it's stable. So that's my plan for right now. And I also have a whole bunch more Wavebirds on the way for testing and taking apart. So the goal for this project is to make a tiny circuit board where I'll be transplanting a few things like this chip and the little silver thing that holds the transmitter. Basically just those 3 things, along with, you know, a couple other minor things like that, and some resistors that are necessary for functioning, and capacitors that are needed. And to transplant those onto a custom circuit board, which will have little soldering pads for A, B, X, Y, joysticks, whatever, and then I'll be able to put that into any controller I want. And so any controller could be a wireless GameCube controller, which would be cool. So that's my project that I'm also working on right now. So these 2 projects should keep me busy for a while, and I'll try to do more frequent updates because I know it's been a while. But that's about it for now. So thank you for watching.